Hello everybody, how are you doing today? Welcome back to another energy reading for the week of August 2nd, 2021. We are in August. That means we're going into the fall. We're going into a new vibration, a new energy. Interesting stuff happening right now. So before I get into the reading, of course, I do have some announcements. Some really great podcasts have been releasing every Saturday. If you didn't listen to the podcast, it's the Awakening Journey podcast, found on every single platform. So this week's podcast episode is all about spiritual bypassing. Very important topic to discuss and to be even aware of, really. Because to be honest, you'll hear it in the episode, but I stuck in this place of spiritual bypassing for so long. And I was frustrated and getting stuck and wondering, like, why can't I move ahead? Like, I can see so far ahead in my life and I know where I'm going, but I'm just like spinning in the mud, right? Guess what the culprit was? Spiritual bypassing. Oh shit. That I'll let you listen to the episode, but definitely something to be just aware of, just be conscious of, and then you can overcome it. That's it. Being aware, knowledge is truly power. And that is what I'm going to share with you today. Okay, so another thing to let you guys know is I do have coaching spots available. So if that's something you've been interested in or kind of thinking about or on the fence about, I do offer a free 60-minute consultations for anyone that's kind of wondering what it's all about and want to know more. So yeah, I'm booking those all this week, next week, and the upcoming week. So let me know. You can either message me at my website, which is innerbuddha.ca/questions, or just reach out to me. Message me. That's all good too. Okay, so the energy this week, I don't know if you guys are picking it up, but there's a quickening. A quickening means that the energies are coming in full force right now. Hello, Elisa. Hello, how are you, Elizabetta? So happy to have you here. Yeah, so energies are coming in fast. I don't know about you guys, but I've definitely been slowly picking that up, and it's interesting because my 10-year-old son also has been feeling it too, which has been interesting because he's very he's an empath. He's very sensitive. He can pick up on things, and he's been kind of getting anxious lately. And that's what it feels like, right? That's what the quickening feels like when the universe is working at like full force. Sometimes it comes in like waves. I would explain it like that. It was kind of like the wave. So we're right in a wave right now. There's a wave coming, right? And it can feel kind of off-putting. You're not too sure what's happening. You kind of feel anxious, and it's hard to settle the vibrations in your body. But all that's really happening is that you are starting to hold higher vibrations. Your body is beginning to hold more light and more of all of the good stuff, right? So I felt that too. Yeah, that's right. Like you feel a little rushed to do something. Yes. Like you forgot something. You're like, oh, I'm missing something, or something feels weird. Something feels off. All that means, and if there's no reason for it, right? Like if you have a reason for it and you figure it out, okay, then that's explainable. But if it's a collective thing that a lot of people are catching up on, like feeling in this weird sensations, all it means is that you'll have a little bit more energy. And that's the thing, is when you're getting flooded with all of this high vibrational energies, it can feel weird because you're not used to it. You're so used to, we've grown accustomed to being in this slow, sluggish place because we've worked so hard physically, right? But the energies are changing. And that's such a good thing. It's such a good thing. So what are we being called to do this week? Raise our vibration. That's it. So what I like to do when I'm kind of feeling a little bit off-putting is stretch my body. Stretch it out. Do some yoga. Do some shake it off, right? Just get in that place and just kind of just stretch out. Stretch your arms out. Open your heart center, right? Open that up and just stretch. And then shake. Shake it off, right? Anything that is not of the highest vibration, you can just imagine it falling off like ashes, falling off of your body, right? That's a really great way to kind of get started. And I just finished some yoga this morning, which is I really needed it, just to be honest. And in order to hold as much light in your body, we have to visualize it coming in. That's the thing. That's how your aura gets brighter. That's how your aura cleanses itself, right? And there's other techniques and things I can teach you as well to clean your aura, but just filling it with light, just imagining, like visualization. So like you close your eyes, take a couple deep breaths, really center yourself. Go ahead and feel free to do this with me here. So we're going to do a quick little exercise. We're going to close our eyes and we're just going to fill our bodies with light. That's all it is. When you fill your body like every single breath that you take in, you can imagine in your solar plexus, so right at the bottom of your rib cage, right? Imagine a white light turning on. And every breath you take, it gets brighter and brighter and bigger and wider, and until it completely engulfs you. So go ahead, breathe in the light. Breathe it in and out. Breathe in more and expand that center and out. And each time you go in and expand this part of you and you're bringing in more light, you're going to be raising your vibration. And that is what we're meant to do this week. So move and stretch your body. Dance, sing off key if you have to, because I am not a good singer. I'm going to let, but that's the thing, is just allowing yourself to be silly, to play, to allow that inner child to come out, right? Because it's when you hold that in, it doesn't feel good. You're forcing something that's not meant to be forced, right? So it's more or less stepping into that higher vibrational state and embodying that on a more regular basis. And we are now. That's the thing, is that all of these energies are coming in. And if you're not sure of how to deal with it, it's going to be a little overwhelming, right? So that's why I'm here. I'm here to tell you, this is how I best do it. You can try it out that way. And if that doesn't work, then you can try another way, right? But the information's out there. So just keep searching, keep looking, don't limit yourself with just my information. I definitely recommend making sure that you follow as many spiritual teachers as you can so that you can get many different perspectives of it. And that's key, right? Don't ever limit yourself with one spiritual teacher. Don't ever do that to yourself. All right. So I'm going to tap into the cards. We're going to see, first of all, we know that a higher vibrational state is what we're moving into. We know that we need to embody more light in our body. And another way to do that too, you can do it through the breathing exercise. Breathing is key, especially if you are feeling anxious or off-put. But also you can just visualize every single cell in your body, like down your arms and your legs, all lighting up, becoming more and more awake, more and more online, right? That's all you're doing. And you can just quickly just do it within the morning and then at night. Surrounding yourself with white light. This also heals you too. Anything in your aura that you've been kind of walking around with and dragging behind you, like your shadow self, right? That's going to bring that up. And if anything needs to be cleared, it's going to come up for you. So you could get triggered, and that's okay. When you get triggered, you're like, instead of falling into the trap of the trigger, a good practice is to realize first that you're being triggered. And then say, okay, why is this such a problem? Why is this such a problem? And just kind of look at that. Why do I see this as a problem? What does it mean to me, right? Because what you're making it mean is what is affecting you, right? The story behind it. That's a whole nother topic, right? Okay, so let's go into the cards. I'm going to ask the cards. We're going to ask for the Sacred Geometry deck. For the activation, the energy that you need to activate in order to raise your vibration and embody more light this week. Okay, let's find out. Oh, it just popped out like nothing, like popcorn. Okay, this is what came out. Whoop, you can't really see it. Sometimes it's hard. Okay, there we go. Anyway, realization. Realization is the activation that we're going to need this week. So the realization, the frequency of realization supports the internal process of becoming aware of our heart-centered truth. as well as the external process of becoming our highest expression in this world, right? And that's what we're doing. We want to raise up, we want to feel better, we want to be in a better place, we want to be more happy, right? These are all things that we've wanted in a long time. We just didn't know how to get it on a more consistent, sustainable basis, right? Raising your vibration in your body, tuning into what's in your body. Sometimes it's hard to do because you're so used to turning away from it and avoiding it. And we've become masters of avoidance and escapism, right? All these things to numb the pain, but that's not working anymore, right? So we need to step into more of this place of realization, live in a place of breakthrough, right? And learning, the biggest lesson I had to learn was how to have a breakthrough without the massive breakdown. That was interesting. I had massive breakdowns throughout the beginning of my awakening all the time. I would be crying all the time, pain, so much pain, and I didn't know why. And then all of a sudden I would come to the breakthrough and it would feel so good, and I'm like, oh my God, why did, and then I started noticing the patterns because I was practicing observing myself, right? So I noticed the patterns. I'm like, well, I go through all these massive breakdowns and it's hindering my relationship with my husband. It was hindering my relationship with my children and how I was interacting with the world. You know, like, why can't I have the breakthroughs without having the massive breakdowns? That was one of the biggest revelations that I've had in my life. And I wanted to share that with you because I want you to be able to notice that in your own life as well. When are these cycles playing out? When are these cycles affecting you, and how do they affect you, right? Living in this place of realization, embodying the energy of realization. When you have a realization, it's that, oh, that's why energy, right? That's why. And then you almost release all of the baggage all at once, right? So becoming more embodied with the energies of realization, that is going to help you this week. So I want you to have as many realizations as you possibly can this week. And it's just about learning new perspectives, looking at things in a different way. That's all a realization is when you can pivot and change your view on something or someone. Like, you have a rigid view about somebody, right? Say, for example, there's this one person in your life that they just drive you nuts, and you have always avoided them at every cost, but you've been nice to their face because you don't know how to explain how much they irritate you, right? But what if you could change that irritation to appreciation, to gratitude, to an appreciation of understanding of their role that they're playing in your life? How would that change the relationship for you? How would it change the energies that you have when you're with them? Instead of avoiding them, you could be okay with just being there. You know, you don't have to go to being best friends with them again, right? Or something like that. It's just a matter of just tuning into the vibrations that you hold in your bodies in certain situations and being with certain people and the vibes that you get from people. And maybe you need to cut that person out of your life. That's a boundary, right? So it's just about tuning into what is necessary for you at this time, because this is the time. You're only responsible for you, by the way, at this point. We're not responsible for anyone else in this world at this point until we heal ourselves, right? We can't help anyone else in our lives until we are fully embodied that place ourselves, right? You can only help people as far as you're willing to go. So I'm willing to go all the way. That's the thing. So I'm willing to help you all the way, as far and deep as you want to go. I'm not afraid of it anymore. I used to be, not anymore. And that's where I want you to be too. That's where I want all of my clients to be. That's where I want all of the people I meet, everyone watching these videos, everyone tuning into the podcast, you know, reading my emails. I want them to embody this feeling of realization, of breakthrough, of understanding, and being able to shift the negativity in your life to something to be appreciative and grateful for. That's how we get through everything. So I'm going to tune into, now we know we have to we have to activate the energies of realization to get to raise our vibration this week, right? But I'm going to tap into my Divine Energy Oracle deck and see what it has to say, what messages have to come forth. That's always fun. So I ask for the angels of the highest truth, love, and compassion to send the energies that we need to manifest this week. Here we go. Isn't this what I just said? Reevaluate your priorities. Reevaluate. Look at things differently. How can you shift things in your life that are once a burden? Now you can look at it in a different light. Reevaluate your priorities. What are you aiming for? What are you going for? What do you want out of life? Are you clear on what you want out of life? Do you know what you want, where you're going? Or are you just kind of stuck and just be like, I don't even know where I'm going. I just know I need to get somewhere other than where I am. And that's okay too. It's just tuning into it and realizing that you may not be exactly where you want to be, and that's okay. But until you accept that you are where you are, you can't move forward. It's like a trap. It's this invisible trap that you can't get out of until you appreciate it and understand what the role of this period of your life is right now, right? There's a role, there's a purpose to it. It's just tuning into that and finding it out. Okay, so I'm going to quickly just pull the animal totem of the week and see what kind of messages come through for the animals, because animals themselves are symbols. They are symbols to help guide us, and they come through in many different ways and forms. I know I went camping with my family last weekend, and we went out to the bush and we're on the lake, and at night we were watching the sunset, and then all of a sudden we see these bubbles in the water. I'm standing by the dock and I'm like, what is that? And then all of a sudden this little turtle pops up, and I'm like, that is the cutest thing, right? And then a few minutes later, this otter comes by in the water. Like, what, you know? And it was so amazing to see. And then looking into the symbolism of those animals kind of really, to be honest, I didn't actually look up those meanings, but I will, and I should post it because that's interesting. But tuning into the animals, they have messages for us. It's just like psychic symbols. You get symbols in your head, you get symbols out in the physical, but we don't see it as symbols. We just see it as something there, right? But they're messages. So let's tune into the message for the animal of this week. Let's see what we can get from that. That was easy. Ooh, this is interesting because this one comes up a lot. The bear. Energy of the bear. What do you feel when you tune into a bear's energy? I feel grand. I feel like this big, boisterous energy, right? And also a very secure and very kind of noble. You know, I want to know from you, what do you feel? Like if you think of a bear and then you think of their energy, what do you get? I'm curious. Put it down in the comments. I would love to know if you're watching live or the replay on Facebook or YouTube, wherever you're watching this. I would love to know what you tune into. It's like almost like a little intuitive teaching right now. Is before I read this, before we actually read the message, I want to know from you. What does a bear mean to you? Share it. Okay, so let's read it. The guidance of the bear. The bear card suggests that you have the wisdom within that enables you to establish your power and use it correctly. For this, it is important for you to be in an environment where you are happy and free. So examine your world, and if you need to make changes, ask Archangel Uriel to help you. He will strengthen your solar plexus, and so that your feeling of confidence is strong, right? So Elisa says guarded comes to mind. Guarded. Yeah, absolutely. They are guarded. They are protective, right? Bears are there to safety and security. And the first thing that comes to mind is the fire bear to prevent wildfires. This bear with the hat, right? I don't know if you guys seen that, but that was what came to mind when you said that. That's interesting. It does say, it says, you may need to walk alone while you reclaim your wisdom and your worth. So use this opportunity to create a cocoon so that source light can touch you. Open your crown center and let Archangel Jophiel pour in crystal yellow light right through you, completely through you, expanding your heart so that you can spread peace and love, because that's what we're here to do. So there we go. Okay, good. So that is our reading this week. We're tuning or activating the feeling of realization in our bodies, breakthrough, right? Getting into that place of breakthrough, allowing it without the breakdowns. If you need help with that, I can definitely help you through the coaching program. And then, of course, tuning into the bear energy, turning into the bear energy. What does that body for you? Walking alone, reclaiming your wisdom. You can't hear your wisdom if your mind is too loud with chatter, right? And I did post in the Facebook group just recently, it's not about quieting your mind. It's about listening through the silence in between the thoughts. They may be hard to find when you're starting out, right? But there is silence in between each thought. There's silence in between each word that I'm saying right now. That is what you need to listen for. And a really good practice to help when you're meditating, or you don't even necessarily have to sit and meditate. Like, you can just be in a quiet place. Listen to something other than your thoughts. That could be the wind, could be the birds outside. If you're inside, listen to the vents blowing air. Listen to something other than the thoughts. And then what happens is when you're doing that, when you're concentrating on something other than that, or I just put earbuds in and put some meditation music on from YouTube, that works really well too. It's just, you're not paying attention to the thoughts, because that's what's driving the thoughts and moving them forward and giving them momentum, is when you pay attention to it. You're feeding it, right? So when you take the attention away, the thoughts start to slow down, and then they can even drop off. It's an interesting thing. I've finally gotten to that place where my thoughts can finally just drop off, and I don't have to be thinking anything. All I have to do is just sit in my being. And that is the ultimate goal. So it's not about controlling. It's not about trying to force something. You can totally allow all of that. Just stepping into more of a place of listening between the lines. So with that, I'm going to leave with you this week. I wish you all the best of love and light this week. And feel free to reach out to me if you are looking for that spot of the coaching. All right? So I send you so much love, so much light, and you take care.